It's a beautiful night, isn't it? Yeah, Happy New Year's. What's a New Year's night without some thrill? What? James has been searching for a job for a few months now. But all summer long, there were no replies from any of the places he had given interviews. Come the start of winter, James was hopeless. Without a choice, he started working at a small shop. While the pay wasn't any good, nor was there any future career here, the manager and his co-workers were all cool. You guys got any plans for the New Year's? Nope. Nothing. Gonna sleep in. Come on. The holidays only come around once a year. You guys gotta enjoy. I was planning a trip to the ski resort upstate. If you guys pitch in, we could all go. So the 5 of them and Mr. White all pitched in $100 for the trip that weekend. The resort was 3 hours away, nestled in the mountainside. The only way to get there was an old suspension bridge that stretched across the long, deep valley. They had 2 cars. James, Maria, and Ethan drove one. And Mr. White, Alan, and John were driving the other, leaving right after work. By the time everyone reached the suspension bridge, it was around 10 p.m. It was a cloudy day, and the moonlight barely shone through all the wispy fog. Mr. White was ahead. He began to cross over the suspension bridge, and James followed along close behind, trying not to lose sight of Mr. White's car. Suddenly, by the time they all reached the center of the bridge, Mr. White stopped. Why did he stop? Did the car break down? I'll go see. Just as James and Ethan were about to get out, they saw the rear door of Mr. White's car open. Alan and John stepped out. What's up, man? What happened? All of a sudden, Alan and John began yelling. As if they had gone mad. What is going on? Before they could understand anything, John and Alan ran to the side of the bridge and threw themselves over the guardrail. No! No! James and Ethan rushed to the guardrail and peered down. But the fog was so dense, they couldn't see anything. It was a 150 feet drop from the bridge, and there was very little chance anyone could survive. Mr. White, he's in the car. James hurried over and opened the door to find Mr. White. Mr. White was crouched over the steering, almost paralyzed. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. Mr. White? Mr. White, what happened? Maybe we should call the police. I don't have any network. Walking along the bridge, it was almost another hour till one of them got reception. They called the police immediately, but it took a while for the police to arrive with the ambulance. With the help of a few of the paramedics, they were able to get Mr. White out of the car. James and Ethan could hear his knuckles snapping as the team pried his hands off the steering wheel. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. Later that night, the bodies of the two other men were fished out of the river. What happened here? We don't know. We were going to the resort. Our manager was driving the car ahead of us. He suddenly stopped the car. We saw the others get out and jump off the bridge. No one could shed any light on the puzzling incident. There was only one way to know. Mr. White. It was late into the night Mr. White woke up in the hospital. He looked devastated, pale white as the police questioned him. What happened on the bridge? We were driving across the suspension bridge. It was foggy. We couldn't see more than a few feet ahead. I was driving as slow as I could. When I saw a woman walk out of the fog. I stopped the car, wondering where she came from, if she was lost or searching for a lift. But she just stood there, staring right into my eyes. She was tall, attractive. She was wearing a long red dress. Her hair was dark brown, flowing over her shoulders. Her eyes, they were piercing blue. I tried motioning at her, but she didn't respond. And then, the mist, it slowly encircled the car. And then others began to emerge from the mist. They were all soaking wet. Some men, some women. When they passed the woman in red and came towards the car, I realized they weren't alive. Some of them had bruises, cuts, broken limbs, or no limbs at all. I was frightened. I immediately locked the doors and windows of the car. But they surrounded us. They began banging on the windows.
Follow us. Be with us. Follow us.
I don't know why I felt a strong urge to listen. It was too difficult to resist. Alan and John gave in. Those people pulled them out and threw them off the bridge. I don't know how I fought the urge. I gripped onto the steering, afraid for my life. And the next thing I remember was James opening the door. James, Ethan, and Maria Both left the hospital, shocked in disbelief. What do you think really happened? Ghosts? Spirits? Zombies? I don't know, man, but I'm never going there again. Ethan swore to leave the past behind. But as for James, he sensed there had to be something more. He was right behind them, and he didn't see anyone. Nothing made any sense. But then again, why would Mr. White make something like this up? It was as if he had lost his sanity in one night. Searching for answers, James decided to go back to the bridge that weekend. To his luck, the skies were clear. He got out of his car with his pocket knife and flashlight gripped tightly in his hand and walked out to the bridge. He had walked quite a distance, and he could see the end of the bridge from where he was standing. He looked around. No one was there. No woman. No other people. Peeked over the guardrail. All he could see was the pitch black water flowing under the bridge. You pushed me over once. I won't let you do it again. James flinched, hearing someone's voice. Who was that? Who's there? But it was silent. There was no one in sight. I mean no harm. If you need help, I'm here to help. What am I saying? There's no one here. James walked on the bridge for some time longer. Finally, he decided to head back home. He took a last glance back and opened his car door. Searching his pocket for his keys. That's when he realized he wasn't alone. He turned his head in fear, his eyes bigger than ever, staring at the woman in red behind him. There was no one to save me that night. I've been here for so long. I want to go back home. Trying to keep his cool, James sat properly and closed the car door. Was this real? Who are you? Olivia Wilson. James couldn't understand what he was looking at. She looked exactly like the woman Mr. White had described. That way. The woman pointed to the road ahead, and James began driving. After about a 30-minute drive, the woman asked James to stop the car. She quietly got out. James followed after her. She had brought him to what looked like a graveyard. Wait, where are you going? I'm finally going to rest in peace. Thank you for bringing me home. James watched the woman walk to a tomb where an old woman stood. He was stunned to see the tombstone engraved, Olivia Wilson. Can I help you? No. I should be getting home. James was about to leave when he saw the old woman begin to weep by her grave. If you don't mind me asking, do you know this person, Olivia Wilson? She was my daughter. She was such a brilliant mind. A chemistry professor at the Wellington University. I regret letting her go that night. I dressed her myself in the most beautiful red dress. She was supposed to attend an award ceremony at the university. They all envied her. When I opened the door to her colleagues that night, I sensed something was wrong. The police found her body in the lake. They took her life, threw her over the bridge. Those criminals were never punished. They said there was no proof. But I know who did it, and they'll suffer. You're right, but your daughter, she's in a better place now, away from all the evil of this world. The old woman showed James the picture of her daughter. James stared in amazement. It was the same girl. It was the same woman in red. If you ever need any help, you can find me here. Did I really see her spirit?
If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.